Hi, welcome back to week 3. So this week in year 8 we've been looking at eating disorders, and I know this is a bit of a contradiction because we've been looking at body image and our self-esteem, and eating disorders aren't about appearance. For a lot of people this is about trying to take back some degree of control. Ironically, of course, they then lose that control. Our focus isn't so much on that because we talk about anorexia and bulimia, but we know that knowledge isn't the answer. All the research tells us that, say, knowing about drugs doesn't stop you using drugs. What you need to do is practice decision-making and choices and how you approach risk. And the same is true for things like this. Rather than focusing overtly on things like eating disorders, we remind ourselves that an eating disorder is a mental health issue. So how do we look after our mental health to hopefully prevent us getting that far? If you think of it as some sort of continuum, when I'm in this situation, when I have some sort of disorder, wrestling back control is hard. So what can I do to focus on this section before I get there? And this is about saying, well, if I want to avoid getting a cold, then I eat right and I sleep plenty and I drink lots of water and I get plenty of vitamin C, and that hopefully insulates me. And it doesn't mean that I won't get it, but it gives me a good shot. And the same is true for our emotional health. The reason we do our gratitude journals is because we're asking students to focus on the good things that are happening in their week. Because if they notice that their life has got plenty of good things in it, they get in the habit of realising that perhaps it's not as bad as it might feel. And so this preemptive, preventative sort of approach is what we've done today. You don't need to talk to your young people about eating disorders. You can. If you're particularly concerned or worried, you can go on a website like BEAT, B-E-A-T, BEAT, and that's the British Eating Disorders Association, really useful website with lots of stuff on it. But a better conversation is one about what do we do to make sure we're emotionally well. And this is about fixing problems, it's preventative. Exercise, plenty of sleep, focusing on positives, talking about our qualities. And again, I've probably said to you before, the more you can talk about who they are rather than the successes they have, the more you talk about the qualities and the character they've got, the better equipped they'll be to cope when things come their way, because they know their value lies in who they are, not in the packaging they come in. Hopefully that was of some use, and we'll speak again next week.